The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Today we will be talking about boosting your workplace productivity with our one-click apps. With our one-click apps offering vis-a-vis the undo to restore, click to clone, and click to export. Now, before we move ahead in this productive session, let me outline the webinar logistics. Lines of all the participants will be muted throughout the session. In case any question arises in your mind, please feel free to ask them with the help of the chat window. And I assure you that I will try to answer most of the questions, if not all, during the Q&A session, depending on the time constraint. My name is Ninad, and I am the Business Development Manager for iNogic. Speaking of iNogic, we are a leading service provider and ISV for past more than a decade, and we have exclusive Dynamics 365 products. We are very much active in the Dynamics 365 community, and our blogs are not only popular but also appreciated by the community. We truly believe in the philosophy of one-click solution, which is building productivity apps that reduces multiple steps which otherwise a CRM user has to take. As you can see on the slide, we have various applications on the offering. I would like to take a moment and very briefly describe some of them. Maplytics. Maplytics is certified for Microsoft Dynamics 365 and helps businesses around the world to plot, plan, visualize, and analyze Dynamics CRM data on a map, and it offers seamless mapping services. Key features include managing territories, route optimization, smart appointment planner, and many more. One of my favorite app is the subscription and recurring billing management. It provides a robust platform for all the subscription-based businesses to seamlessly manage, streamline subscription and recurring billing processes right here within the Dynamics 365 CRM. Another pearl that we have is Map My Relationships. It's a productivity control that provides the mind map view of the Dynamics 365 CRM data on a form. It helps the users to visualize connections and relationships between entities or related records in a single view. Now, apart from developing these awesome applications, we are also an SI. We do assist partners and customers with offshore development services. So in case you have any requirement ranging from customization to a world-changing idea, I would request you to get in touch with us on crm@inogic.com. So what shall we be discussing today? I'll start with how to boost productivity and efficiency within the Dynamics 365 CRM, how we can undo or restore the changes in the records using our undo to restore solution, how can we copy or clone the records using click to clone, how we can export the reports, document templates, CRM views data using the click to export, and finally, I'll open the floor for your question and answers. Now, I'm a man of numbers. Being into business development, numbers have always fascinated me. So allow me to enrich you with some shocking and surprising numbers. 40% of the employees who are using CRM spend a quarter, 25% of their week on manual repetitive tasks. Now, when they are working on these manual tasks, 25% of the records that are updated on the CRM contain critical errors, and $100 is the cost borne by the company for each inaccurate CRM record. Now imagine, number one, the employees are spending a lot of time on a repetitive tasks. If we could somehow minimize the time of repetitive tasks, then the resources can be actually utilized for productive work space, or for the productive work at their workplaces. Now, with our one-click apps, what will you achieve is basically number one, the increased productivity, reduced manual work, automation of the complex tasks, and finally, increased efficiency. So, what are these one-click apps that I'm talking about? We have undo to restore. Now, undo to restore for me, it's a kind of a blessing. We have all known since childhood to err is a human. When there is a human intervention, when there is a human interference with any system, there will be chances of error. And with undo to restore, we can actually restore the Dynamics 365 CRM data in a single click. The next is click to clone. We can automate, or we can just simply click to clone the records, including the related child records, in a single click. And finally, we have click to export. Automate and schedule, or just click to export the report, CRM views, document templates in a single click. Excellent. So let's talk about click to export. Some of the key features of the click to exports are on your screen right now. We support almost all the file formats, whether it's PDF, Excel, Word, CSV, or even TIFF. We also have the ability of fetching the fetch based SSRS reports, Word, Excel, email templates, and not just for the out of box entities, but even if you have your own custom entities. And with click to export, we also support multiple actions, whether it's downloading the file, sending an email to a predefined audience, or even attach it as a note and upload it to the SharePoint. Not just one single click, you can actually automate the entire process through workflows. One of my favorite features for click to export is the schedule export. We can actually schedule reports to be exported and emailed at a particular schedule time to a predefined audience. It's a lovely feature in case if you have a requirement of an organization that requires a certain type of report on a daily basis, or a weekly basis, or a monthly basis, or a quarterly basis. We can actually create a schedule for that. And above all, we do have lots of configurable templates. We can create multiple templates for single report with different filter options and parameter values supplied. Queries can also be edited with the configurable templates. So having said that, let's see the click to export solution in action. So when we talk about a click to export, let me just switch to my CRM window. So here's my click to export, a user-friendly experience to export all of your reports in just a single click. Now, for today's session, I've already installed and configured the click to export. And just a heads up, in today's webinar, my focus is more on the functionality aspects of the click to export, click to clone, and undo to restore solution. Whereas, as and when required, if and when required, I'll be just touching the configurations. However, in case if you want a one-on-one demonstration about the technical, the configurations part, just drop an email to crm@inogic.com. I'll be happy to pick it up and have a one-on-one call with you to configure these solutions as per your business use cases. Great. So let's talk about a quote right here. So let's say your representative is working on a report on a daily basis, and your business use case states that this report needs to be sent as an email or downloaded as a file on a daily basis. So every day, the representative is going to do the same repetitive manual task. Now, with click to export, we can actually go ahead and achieve that result in a single click. So as we can see on your screen right now, we have one quote, it has a product, it has the owner, it has the potential customer and everything right here. So at the top, you may notice there is a click to export button. So let me hit on the click to export button and a beautiful UI is presented to you with a couple of sections. The first is the report section and the second is the action section. So a report section is where we can actually select the appropriate report template. Now, as I had mentioned, I've already pre-configured a few templates and I'll be using the quote report right here and the file format, whether you want it as a PDF, Excel, Word, CSV, or a TIFF as per your business requirements. So the most commonly used is the PDF. Now that's only my assumption basis on the numerous interactions that I have with the prospects and the customers, but your business use case might require Excel. No wonders about that. So for time being, I'll select it as a PDF. Now, once I've selected the report template and the file format, the next one is what action I want to take or I want to do with this report. Now, as I had mentioned during the key features, you can attach it as a note on a timeline so that it acts as a reminder for the representative who is working on it. You can actually attach it as a new email, attach to a new email and then send it to a predefined audience. You can upload it to the SharePoint and you can download the format or the report here, right here itself. An interesting thing is if I just hit on attach to a new email, I can also configure this via template if you want to determine a predefined set of users. Now for simplicity, right here, I'm just selecting, let's attach it as a note, let's download it, and a single click is what I require. So the moment I hit on OK, it started its processing. And as you may have noticed, right now, I have already got the download format. And if I just go to the details section, here's a simple note which is required. So on a single click, imagine the time that has been saved for the user in case if I had selected all the options, whether attach it as a note, send it as an email, upload it on a SharePoint, and of course download on this particular machine. So 4 actions have been combined into a single click, thereby saving a lot of time for the resource. Now, I also want to touch base a very interesting scenario with click to export. The one which I like personally, you can schedule some reports. So if you want to send some reports on a daily basis or a monthly basis, that's where under the click to export we can go right here at schedule reports. And as I had mentioned, I have pre-configured some of them. So let me just open one of it, which is the activities. And what it's basically taking is it's taking the view of my activities. It's taking the CRM report template that has been configured, and it's going to it's going to occur on a daily basis. So we have covered all the bases, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, and if you want to to send it, let's say for example quarterly, we can select the occurrence pattern as occurrence pattern as monthly, and we can mention every X months as 3. So every 3 months, this particular reports would be scheduled and it would be sent. So as of this moment, I've selected it to be the occurrence pattern as daily, and I have said it needs to be done on every day. Now, the next question that comes arise, uh, once we have finalized what needs to be sent, the next is under whose context, under which user's context these reports would be sent. So here under the scheduled for tab, I can add the existing users, and every time the reports are going to be sent, it's going to be sent under these users context. Now, we have covered all the bases. There might be a chance of errors. And in case if any error arises, from which account or to whom the notification should be sent, that can be just with a checkbox. I can select it and I can mention the from and to. And what happens is, in case if the scheduled reports are getting failed due to any technical reason or any other configuration mismatch, then a notification would be sent to the respective users. Well, they can anyways come back, check the scheduled report status and say, hey, this is failed, why it's failed, and they can take the course corrective actions to take it forward. A very underutilized feature that is required for most of the organizations to send the reports. That's what we have tried to cover with click to export. And it's not just a manual thing. Automation, everybody loves automation. Everybody wants to do something which is done automatically on a daily basis or on a predefined basis. So with click to export, we also have covered that base, the automation part. So let's say if I go for a particular code right here, and I'm just taking a hypothetical business case that once this particular quote is activated, some action needs to be performed. Maybe let's take a couple of actions. One, or let's for simplicity take only one action, that this should be copied as a note right here. So what we can do in this case is, we have already pre-configured this with a workflow, and if I just go ahead and activate this particular code, it's going to automatically trigger a workflow behind the scenes, and it's going to attach this code as a note in the timeline for the reference of the user. Now, this really helps all the users to actually save the time, because we have implemented the automation as well. Now, I'm pretty sure by now, when I was trying to explain the features and the functionalities of the click to export, you must have actually visualized in your mind, hey, I can use this feature in my organization, or maybe I can use some other feature. So I'm very curious to know which of the click to export features you found the most valuable for your organization. So what I'm going to do right now is, I'm just launching a very quick 10 to 15-second poll on your screen right now. And I want you to take 5-10 seconds, just visualize all the features and which would be the most suitable feature for your organization, whether it's one-click export, the report capabilities, whether it's SSRS, Word, Excel. Oh, I've already started getting the votes. Multiple export option, automate exporting of automation. Like I had mentioned, everybody loves automation, right? So thank you guys. Thank you for casting the vote. The clear winner is right now automating the exporting of the SSRS or the Word templates. Great. So with that being said, let me just switch back to my PowerPoint presentation, and let's move to the next product, which is the click to clone. Now, click to clone is a feature rich product when it comes to it looks very simple at the onset. You just have to copy or clone, but let's have a look at the features provided by the click to clone. Number one, it's easily configurable, easy to configure, the ability to select the fields that needs to be carried over along with a prefix in the suffix to be added for the clone record. So just by looking at the name or just by looking at the prefix and the suffix, it's evident whether the record has been a source record or it has been a clone record. Not just the click to clone has the ability to copy the details and the relationship from one entity type to another. Now, this is a classic feature that makes the click to clone stand out. It saves a lot of time. I'll just give you a gist, and we'll talk about this in the during the demonstration actually. So imagine that you have a quote which you want to convert it into an order. You send the quote gets approved from your customer, and you now want to create an order. Wow, bring in the click to clone. It's going to take the quote entity record and it's going to create a order entity record just for you with a single click. You also have got the deep clone or the deep copy feature, which has the ability to carry related records from one is to many or and many to many relationship as well. One of my personal favorite feature for click to clone is the get records. Now imagine, like I'd mentioned, I come from a business development background. So many a times I have to create let's say a product or something which is very, very complex by nature. And if a similar request comes for the other customer, I have to again go through the entire complex process. Not anymore. With click to clone, we can actually copy only related records from some other record itself. No doubt, click to clone also has the ability to clone the records with workflow along with the data update in the new clone record with the help of the automation. We support multiple copying or the cloning at the same time. We have the bulk copy. We have the ability to define the criteria. You can set the rules for copying the related entity records, and finally we can also set references. So we can store the references of the source record, the target record on the clone records, and vice versa. That really helps to identify, hey, this is a clone record from a certain source record, and so on. With that being said, time for a live demo of click to clone. So let me switch back to my CRM, correct CRM window to be more precise. Perfect. So as I had mentioned at the beginning, I've already pre-configured it. Now these are the templates, the click to clone templates that I have created basis on my interaction with the prospects and the customers as and when it is required. So what I'll be doing right now is, let's say I'm working on a quote. So I have got a quote which is basically created manually, and we get a requirement, like we have a fixed set of customers, and we want they place the orders of the same products after a frequency of months or days. So every time when the customer is placing that order, I have to go back, create a new quote, and so on. Not anymore. What we can do is, let's say on your screen right now, I have got a quote, I've got a product, I've got the currency, I have got the price list, I've got the potential customer, everything configured. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here and find my click to clone button. Now, the moment I'm hitting on this particular button, again a UI is coming up and it's asking me to select a template. Now, why this template selection is required? Now, this is required essentially if you have configured multiple templates or multiple template rules for the quote entity. Now, since I have multiple templates associated, that's why it is giving me an option. Had it been a case that you have only one template, that would be selected by default. And let me select the appropriate value right here. And I had configured in the quote template that by default, the number of copies that needs to be created is 5. But I can very well change it back to, let's say, 1 in this case. And now all I need to do is just hit on OK. And what will happen is Based on the configuration or the template configuration, the records will be cloned and the attributes will be carried over. So as we can see, currently it's being processed. A couple of records have been processed. Let's say okay. And here you may observe the suffix the of copy 01 that has been added to the existing or the source record. And you may observe that the entire values, including the products, have been now copied from the source record into existing record. That's how easy it is. A single click and we got all the thing that we were looking for. Now, another case which I want to touch base is I want to show you how to clone from one entity to some other entity. Now, as I had mentioned, we have a requirement of a quote record being converted into a order record. So let me try to open this quote again. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm again going to call the click to clone button, and now I'll be selecting a separate template. In this case, I'm going to select the clone code to order, and let me just hit on OK. So what is going to happen is once the processing is done, instead of a quote, we would be looking at an order entity record with all the records into it. Now, as we can see, the records being processed, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, perfect. So let me just say OK. And here we are in the order entity record with the product, with everything, all the based on the template and of course the configurations that we have done. It has now copied or cloned the record of a quote entity into a record of an order entity. Now, moving to the next one, the get record functionality. Now, before I show the get record functionality, what I'm going to do is, let's say hypothetically, this is one of my existing opportunity. For simplicity, I've given the name as my complex opportunity. And under the product line items, I have configured a couple of products. Now, let's imagine hypothetically, these were some complex calculations behind the scene, complex products that we have been selected. And now I have a new opportunity, and as we may have observed, it doesn't have any product line items. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to copy the product line items from my complex opportunity, and I'm going to clone it in the get records functionality opportunity. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go here, I'll hit on get records. And once I have the get records, number one is I'm going to select the appropriate template. So I have selected the opportunity clone, and now I'm going to select the relationship. Now, since I wanted to bring the product, I am bringing the product opportunities, and now I'm going to select the source record. So let me just hit on the magnifying glass, and here is the record that I'm looking for, my complex opportunity. And let me hit on add. And okay, let's do this. So the records processing has begun. Let's say okay. And let's wait for only a couple of moments. And let me hit on product line items. And here it is. So what I have done right now is I have just copied the product line items from one of the opportunity record into other opportunity record. Quite easily done. Last but definitely not the least is the automation. Like I have been mentioning, everyone likes automation. So don't worry, we have got your back for automation in click to clone as well. So I've already pre-configured an on-demand workflow, and I've set it in a way that once I call this on-demand workflow, it is going to clone this particular record. So here's my opportunity win. And once I hit on it, once the on-demand workflow has been called and it does its magic, what we are going to see is under the opportunities, we would be looking at one more copy of the get records functionality. Oh, So by the way, just to give you a heads up, that's the Kanban board solution that we have as an offering from the iNogic. So let me switch it back to read-only grid. And here it is, the copy which was get records functionality because of the on-demand workflow that we had called. Interesting, isn't it? So time for a quick poll. Hope everyone's okay. So let me launch, or I'll stand for this particular moment. It's pretty easy to look into what features has been provided by the click to clone. So for time being, let me just switch back to my PowerPoint presentation. The last but not the least, undo to restore. So during the introduction itself, I had mentioned about to err is a human. Any place where there will be a human interaction, human interference, chances of human error increases. With undo to restore, we can actually restore the last changes done by a done to a Dynamics 365 CRM record by just simply clicking a button. We also have the option of history, where we can undo the changes made in the past using the history buttons. Not just that, we can undo the changes in bulk, we can restore the entire deleted record with just a single click. And again, we support the undo to restore, support the out of box as well as the custom entities. Just a quick heads up, in case if you want to utilize all these features provided by undo to restore, the auditing of the CRM should be turned on. So let me just give you a live demo for the undo to restore. So let's say I'm working on an account. We have a lot of information on the account. Great, looks nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm now starting to work on this account, and unfortunately, what I do is by mistake I make a change and hit on save. Now it's going to be very difficult for me to to find out what was the original value. Well, not really. With our click to undo button sitting right at the top, just a single click onto it, and the last change have been successfully restored. Let's say okay, and I think I just did a mistake. I forgot to save this. So let me just hit on save and then hit on click to undo. Okay, let me just go back to the history. And here you may have observed that the number is actually there. So let me just try to put it up in some other way. So let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and let me try to save this. So here you may have observed that the number that I had changed from 91 to has been now restored to 90, and I got the real reason why it was not restoring, because of completeness of the data. Now, since I had just entered 1 2 3 4, the data wasn't complete, and that's the reason it was not actually restoring it back. So if I make a certain change to this number right now, so let's say I'll try to reverse it and try to hit on save, and then again try to restore it. So here's the number that has been restored back to its original mistake that I had made is now completely recovered. And in the due process, I actually also let's make a few more changes. So I'll make this change to number has been changed. The value, I'm trying to change the value in this case. So let's say I'm making it double. I'm adding a particular website, let's say www.test.com, and I'm now trying to save this. And now if I just want to give you a gist, if I go on history, you will observe all the changes that I have made right now. So I changed the website which had a null value to a certain new value of test.com. I have changed the sales value. I've changed the main phone number, and now I have the opportunity to pick and select certain values which I want to be restored. So let's say I want to restore my main phone number. I want to restore my sales value, and I'll just select those two values and hit on undo. Let's say okay, fine. And here my sales value is back and my phone number is back as well. So that's how easy it is. Even if you make multiple changes to the fields of a particular record, the solution has the ability to take all the changes into consideration. I'm not a mind reader, but what if the entire record itself is deleted? So here's my Boschman, and what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to delete uh, this record. It's giving me a certain warning. Are you sure you want to delete one account? You really can't undo this action. Well, let's hope for the best. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm deleting this record. As you can see, the record's being deleted. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and hit on a button, restore deleted. According to the start date and the end date, you may notice it's the first record which has been deleted right now. So all I'm going to do is just select this, and I'm going to hit on the restore button right here. And the way we had seen that the changes can't be done is about to change right away. And let's hit on OK. Let me just hit on refresh. And here's my Boschman back. So even if the record is deleted entirely, it's really easy to restore the records which have been deleted. And not just a single record, as you may have observed, I can select multiple records. So in case if by mistake, unknowingly, if a certain user has deleted certain records, or someone from the organization has tried to do a mischievous activities by deleting multiple things, here's your solution. I have always maintained that it's not just about dosing of the fire once the fire is there. It's all about prevention is better than cure. So if you have a system like undo to restore present in your CRM system, you can be rest assured. Just turn on the auditing for the CRM, and you will be rest assured, knowingly, unknowingly, any mistakes that happen within the CRM system can be easily recovered. With that being said, let me go back, and these solutions are available for Microsoft Dynamics 365 version 8.2 onwards, and of course for the Dataverse. And these solutions can be deployed on Dynamics 365 on premises as well as the online. So before I go ahead and open the floor for the Q&A session, let me very quickly go through the most frequently asked questions. Can one restore the deleted records in Dynamics 365 CRM? With undo to restore, yes, we can easily restore the deleted records. Are the one-click productivity apps compatible across devices? Yes, they are. You name it, whether you're working on a desktop, laptop, tablet, mobile, they are the apps are compatible across the devices. Is it possible to clone records with numerous line items? Yes, there is no limit. For example, if your code has about 10, 20 product line items and you want to clone it, you just have to configure the template accordingly. You configure it once, and then irrespective of the line items, the record, it is possible to clone such records. Okay, what Microsoft Dynamics products do you support? I just covered it up. It's Dynamics 365 version 8.2 onwards, and of course the Dataverse. Is it possible to export the data in bulk? Yes, with our click to export solution, it is very much possible to export the data in bulk. And finally, how to get started? Well, it's really easy. All you need to do is just go onto our website, www.inogic.com, or you can also visit Microsoft App Source and download a fully functional 15 days trial of all the three solutions, or of the solutions that has intrigued your interest. The solutions are really easy to install and configure. However, in case you face any issues, or if you want a one-on-one session where we would be assisting you in the configuration of any of these solutions as per your business use cases, just drop an email to crm@inogic.com and I'll be very happy to assist you further. With that being said, the floor is all yours. It's the Q&A time. Please use the chat window and do let me know if you have any questions. I'll be very happy to answer. So one of the question that I've got is, what if the auditing is not turned on for the undo to restore or before it is installed? So if your auditing is turned on and if you have installed undo to restore very recently, it would be very much possible to recover the data from the time the auditing has been turned on. So I'll request you to use our email address, crm@inogic.com. If you have any questions, just drop an email to crm@inogic.com. I'll be extremely happy to take it up personally and answer any of the questions. With that being said, a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. A big thank you for attending this particular webinar of one-click apps. iNogic, by the way, carries out